Good morning, I am Ben Brown. In this video, I break down Manchester United's 1-1 draw against Fulham and focus on the key tactical weakness holding Ruben Amorim's system back. On the surface, a point at Old Trafford might not look disastrous, but when you look deeper into the patterns of play, you can see the same recurring issues that continue to limit United under their new manager. While Amorim's men showed flashes of control and intensity, Fulham consistently exploited a structural flaw that prevented United from turning possession into dominance. Manchester United looked to impose themselves on the game with Amorim's trademark aggressive pressing system.
Fulham won, Manchester United won, a disappointing result for the Red Devils. And in this video, we are going to explore what happened behind the scenes in this tactical battle at Craven Cottage. Get started with the story behind this Premier League clash between Manchester United and Fulham. It's a story that we are all too familiar with. Manchester United dominated the first 25 minutes. We should have scored 1 or 2 goals. Cunha hit the post and then just controlled the game and just won the game and got all the 3 points. But of course, we didn't. And then Fulham, slowly but surely, they were able to claw themselves back into the game and gain back some of that control. Now, of course, here at Scarlet Report, we don't just talk about surface level tactics. The key question is, why did it happen and how can we prevent it from happening? One of the reasons why it happens is actually due to the way Ruben Amorim likes to press. Okay, so in the defensive phase, Ruben Amorim likes to press with intensity with these 5 forward players, if you may, in order to force the opposition to go long towards these areas right here. But these areas, as you can see, they are usually, left empty because Bruno and Casemiro, whoever plays in the double pivot, they actually press with intensity as well. Otherwise, the press is ineffective. But it's not a problem because one of these center backs is expected to push up. As we've seen from Euro the Left Hand Show in the game against Arsenal, where they were absolutely imperial against that morbidly obese Swedish dude, the same thing was expected here against Fulham. Just pushing up, winning these duels, and then scoring, headers into the top corner from 40 yards. That was a joke, guys. Don't crucify me in the comment section. But let's look at what actually happens on the pitch. So here, as you can see, Fulham, building up with a back 4 kind of shape. As you can see here, Iwobi, he was really looking to always drop into these areas to be involved in the build-up. But as you can see, Leny Yoro here, you can see him behind my logo, but he's tagging him, he's shadowing him, just making sure that he's always following him, stepping out of this back 5 position to make him not as attractive as a receiver of the pass, and then forcing Fulham to play into these patterns where, of course, our midfielders, here in this case Bruno, are able to intercept the ball and then just counter-attack. Here is another example, same shape from Fulham, but here again, as you can see, as Iwobi drops in deep to collect the ball, King right here becomes an attractive option for Fulham, but Leny Yoro is already on him. As you can see, he's not really committing 100%, but he's telling him, listen, I got you, I'm watching you. And then as Lukic also tries to move into spaces where he can receive the ball, Shaw does the same thing. So basically, he's mirroring what Leny Yoro did on the right. And this is, again, another great example. As you can see, he's stepping up from that defensive line. And what this does, what Luke Shaw and Leny Yoro were doing early in the first half, of course, was to just restrict spaces through the middle. And so it didn't really make it seem like we had a big gaping hole in midfield, as of course that was the case in many games last season and definitely later in the second half in this game, because you're adding numbers to the midfield, okay? So here is another example right here. As you can see, again, that square or pentagon shape that Amorim favors in the press. And then here we have a different pattern. So here Leny Yoro actually goes wide, following Iwobi. And then because Amad Diallo was the one involved in the press, Casemiro stayed behind, and then he's able to win the ball back. So basically just having this intermittent pressing and stepping out of your position between the double pivot players as well as the center backs is actually what adds beef to the midfield position in this Ruben Amorim system. But of course, this would not be a Scarlet Report video if I did not show you the bad as well, because of course, as you can see here, 24th minute, from this point on, Fulham simply gained control of the game again, and of course, we didn't really come that close to scoring goals and creating chances. So as you can see here, as Iwobi steps back into the midfield, none of Leny Yoro or Casemiro, one of them should actually come close to him. None of them actually initiate that move. And so he's able to just collect the ball, just a lot of space for him to go and do what a playmaker does, lift his head up and assess his options. Here, Joachim Anderson, one of the most underrated ball-playing center-backs, by the way. He's got the game in front of him. And then here now, King is going to actually make a move. So as you can see, he comes in deep to ask for the ball. But of course, Casemiro or Lenioro, preferably Lenioro, since De Ligt is here with Muniz, the center forward, should have come here to make sure that even if King receives the ball, he doesn't have a lot of space and time on the ball, but none of them did that. So now he has the ball, and then they can play between the lines and progress the ball. Same thing here in this sequence. Again, this really angered me because it was a clear trap. Before it even happened, I could see it happening. What Fulham are doing is that they are actually baiting us to press them really high in order to create spaces between our midfield and our defense. And let me show you how that happens. So basically, they drop in deep. They just bait these players to go and press with more intensity. But of course, as you can see, they are composed with the ball. Joaquin Anderson lifts his head. He's able to play that ball. And then look at all of this space between the defender and between these forwards who actually pushed up to press Fulham. And so here Iwobi again has a lot of space and time on the ball. And so this is the sequence, because you bet that, of course, the goal that Fulham scored also came from this tactical principle. So again, a build-up situation. Again, they're building up wide and deep. Again, baiting us, bringing us close to their own goal, to their defensive third, in order to counter us effectively. So as you can see here, Iwobi again is dragging Lenioro wide with him. But as you can see here, as De Ligt comes in, without much decisiveness, Sesko should have applied more pressure on Berga over here. And as you can see, there's just too much space right here. And you'll see why. I mean, Bruno Fernandes is occupied over here with Lukic. But where is Ugarte? Where is Ugarte? Where Ugarte is over here. That's just weak positioning from the Manchester United players and just a lack of, decisive defensive intensity from the likes of De Ligt and from the likes of Sesko, who should have probably applied a little bit more pressure on Berga over there. But then that was just too easy for Fulham to play through us. And in that same sequence, here, Bruno, who's supposed to mark Emil Smith-Rowe in this situation, he doesn't do his job. And then as Iwobi puts in a beautiful cross, you see, Bruno is not actually tracking his runner, and then they're able to score. And of course, the Emil Smith-Rowe show did not actually stop there, because the main reason why, even though we were really chasing the game and we were trying to score a goal in order to make amends and win the game and get all the 3 points, we didn't really those waves after waves of attack that you would expect from Manchester United at that stage of the game simply didn't happen. And one of the reasons, again, is that because they were able to create verticality and passing lanes through our midfield. And again, here, Emil Smith-Rowe, as you can see, in acres of space with Ugarte over here and Bruno. But what should happen here is either Lenioro should come in closer to Raul Jimenez with De Ligt pushing up. Okay, so there needs to be sort of patterns, sort of understanding between these center backs that just says, okay, you know what? I'm staying with this guy, you push up. But this simply cannot, we cannot carry on playing like this, because this is just unacceptable. These amounts of spaces, I mean, if you give Premier League players this amount of spaces, they are going to punish you, and Fulham definitely did so. And of course, they could have punished us even more if it was not for some rearguard action from the likes of De Ligt, for example, here with these blocks in this corner, or Lenioro, who has been absolutely excellent in this game. His recovery speed is absolutely great and decisive in the tackle, and that's extremely important as well. So overall, I think that our performance was, of course, in the image of our captain's performance. We tried our best, but ultimately we simply were not